to the viewers out there, we're not doing shot-by-shot coverage anymore. We're changing that model. We're doing live disc golf, and it's a full show. We're getting a lot of chase cards. We got third cards. We got chase of FPO.
What's up, guys? Johnny Disc Golf here at the 2020 Memorial Championships, and I am joined by the tour director himself, Mr. Jeff Spring. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Corey. Thanks for having me.
I am so glad to be here. I was in Vegas last week, but really, this is the first big tour event of the year. How's it been from your perspective?
Well, I'm really pleased now that we're at the final day. We're just waiting for FPO to finish up. Paige is way ahead. So, you know, we're not a lot of suspense left, but other than that, you know, the MPO competition was great. There was great crowd control, great viewership on site and online. So overall, I think it's a win.
Cool. This is the first event that's been under your stewardship, we'll say. You came on later in the year. You had MVP. You had the Tour Championship. But what was it like, maybe behind the scenes? What was different at this event than those? Now that you've had a whole off season to prepare.
Yeah, I mean, last year we were in scramble mode. It may not have, hopefully it didn't seem that way.
No, it didn't.
But you know, we tried to do what we could to, you know, just make sure that the tour got to the end of the year and did so professionally and well organized. The Tour Championship venue change put a lot of stress on the, you know, Joel, just really me. I mean, we didn't really have a team at that point in time, but you know, we had a great club in Charlotte that helped make that happen. So I'd say the big change is that we were able to create our team. You know, we went through a really long hiring process, and now we have seven employees. And you know, so the changes that we've made have to do, you know, with media, with competition, with you know, touring pro relationships, course standards, course design, and you know, we're going to take, you know, baby steps, really. You know, one step at a time. I think this was a step in the right direction, and that's all we were really looking for. So. I'd say the big change is the team and the vision and the organization, and I think we hope that it pays off with dividends in the future. Yeah.
Well, speaking of paying, it seems like this year there's a significant financial foot in the ground we are willing to spend from the Pro Tour's perspective. Was that a concerted effort over the off season, we are committing to this, or did maybe the expenses just add up? You said you've added 7 people. I imagine those are going to be salaried positions. Was that a plan of attack, or did it just happen?
Well, I think that the first thing is that we started identifying our goals. So it was a very concerted effort. It didn't just keep piling up at all. You know, we have a vision and a goal for the tour, and as we put those stakes in the ground, you know, for what the tour goals are and those big flag posts, you know, we did assess versus our financial plan, and you know, made sure every step of the way that we were doing things as cost effectively as we could, but without sacrificing quality. I think that, you know, we're a new business, really. You know, we're managing the brand, but we're a new business, and you know, Todd and Louisa have been great owners. They've been as involved as I need them to, but also willing to, you know, let things develop too. So, you know, they're there anytime, and you know, collaborating with them both on the vision and what we're trying to do has been important, because every step of the way, if you're looking at, you know, hey, do we need this staff member? Are they fulfilling a crucial role to get to our goal? Those are big questions that we need to answer, you know, as a full team. And so they've been involved in that. But no, every step of the way we've been saying, you know, this is going to fuel this revenue source. This is going to be a longer term ROI. This is going to be shorter term ROI. And so, you know, it's all kind of one big plan. And I feel like we have kind of made our vision for the year, and we're on our way there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the biggest changes, I would say, from a touring perspective, is the Silver Series events that you've introduced. We kind of talked about an MVP last year, but it really wasn't set. You were kind of pitching names.
Right.
Now that the brand and the series is all solidified, what do you think that's going to do, or do you think it's going to change the touring pro lifestyle? How does that affect the tour?
Well, I think what it does is give regional pros maybe an incentive to tour a little bit more. We want to grow touring pros and the people that are able to make this a sustainable life and profession. So, you know, if you're a regional pro and you start getting points at these regional events, because just to be clear to your audience, those are worth 25% of a full event. And if, let's say, a pro like Calvin, who just won here, went to every single one, he could only take his top 3 scores. So if he won 3, he could only get 75 points, and he could just got 100.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So
Okay,
it's
so it's
not
capped.
it's capped, but it's also going to maybe, for those players that are on the fringe, if they want to go to Silver Series, they can make them count, and Maine States is the final Silver Series. We might see people flooding there.
Yeah.
It's after the GMC to try to make that last push of
into the
points
championship.
over it.
Yeah.
But, in terms of what these events are going to be like, it's a year we're going to find out a little bit more about each event. I think we're going to each event, and we're going to have our assets there. We're going to be creating media at each one. Maybe some we might go live. I'm not quite sure yet. But really, we want to get to know the events. We want to be there to support them. But it's really less hands-on. Like we're like they're going to make more of their decisions, and it's not the same standards. And hopefully these events step it up and deliver those standards. We want them to be as good as possible. In terms of the overall picture, we do want to expand, but we want to do it sustainably and in coordination with the PDGA. There's a lot of weekends, that are taking up, especially in the prime time. So, we're working together with the PDGA to kind of cap those bookmarks of like the prime time season, and I think like we'll see more expansion, at the front and the end, where people can maybe choose whether or not they want to jump on. But I think that this sounds like it's about the right starting point. We like Vegas pushes earlier in February. And really, the Tour Championship, we're not doing anything after that. So it looks like early to mid-February, all the way to like late October is going to be like the bookends, and then the primetime season is going to be inside of that.
Gotcha. So, Disc Golf Network, let's talk about how many people actually viewed this weekend, because what I've heard, it's a good number, right?
Yeah, we had a simulcast on YouTube and Disc Golf Network, and the YouTube concurrent viewership today hit just about 13,000. Yeah.
The number.
The number 13,000. I think it was 12.9. We had about 1,000 on Disc Golf Network, so I mean we were pushing 14K overall. And then that's like in terms of that number, I think that's pretty much a record. Worlds last year hit 15, they said, but it was a split stream. I think it had split to 7 and 8.
Okay.
So like we're very this is beyond what we thought we'd get to. I think it was like 8.5 the first day, 7.8, and then like 8.7 or something, and then boom, like this one like popped, and that's what we want the final round to do. That's why we're keeping the final round live simulcast on YouTube and the Disc Golf Network. But subscribers on the Disc Golf Network have popped much higher than we thought. We basically hit our yearly goal.
Yeah, so actually, I was going to mention that. Can you tell details? And if not, can you ballpark it?
Yeah, I'll ballpark it. Sure. We're well over 1,000 on our way to higher goals, I would say. That's all I would really want to say. I don't know. I'm not
that's
sure
a great number.
Like we'll keep people up to date. We may. I think we're going to talk about it as a team after this, but we're definitely on our way to we're over our yearly goal when we started, which is fantastic. So, we really appreciate all the subscribers out there. We appreciate people having faith in us. And like hopefully, people that watched today said, hey, that was great live coverage, and look at the other content, the Inside the Circle shows. We're going to have interviews. We hope to have stuff from Corey, Johnny Disc Golf on there, some exclusive stuff. So like we're working on licensing more and more stuff, and we want it to be the home of live disc golf, but hopefully at one day the home of disc golf.
Sure.
But we'll see. We're going to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time. Speaking of, we have the FPO gallery right here. They're finishing up. Paige, obviously running away with it, but the big shift. FPO playing after the MPO.
Right.
Run me through the thought process, and was there any hiccups along that way?
Yeah, it really came about when we had a team meeting. Everybody got together for the first time, and it wasn't really a prerogative to change anything, but we started talking, and it was like, hey, what if we did it this way? I'm going to give the credit to Johnny V, because he brought this up when we were talking about actually covering a non-DGPT event. He said, do you think we could do it this way? And I said, yeah. And I was like, well, why don't we do that at every event? And then we started thinking about it. And then, like I said, at the team meeting, we kicked it around, and no one really could find many cons. Like the biggest cons I've heard is that the FPO, got used to it in the morning. They like the peace and serenity, but the point of it is that there's bigger crowds, right? There's more crowds. You can see a pretty healthy crowd there. There's more over on 18. And if this wasn't such a runaway, I'd be up there, like watching. So,
No, exactly.
but yeah, the pros are that the spectators on site and online are going to naturally kind of follow what the MPO kind of weight of that MPO finish. And so there's a lot of people around, there's a lot of people watching, and we're very excited. That said, there's still over 5K concurrent.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
Yeah, there's in like for about half of, like, they were basically on the back nine. And it was like 9K for like a half hour, 7K for a half hour. Now we're at 5K, and it looks like it's going to finish at above 5K concurrent, which is great. And even on Friday, Thursday and Friday, it held at like, you know, $4,000 to $5,000 viewers concurrent. So that's a big win. And the idea is that we're, you know, creating new FPO fans. But also is really good logistically for our crew. For Jomez, for instance, they're getting their videos out actually right away because they're being able to do commentary the night before and then, you know, render and upload. So it kind of works in a lot of good ways. I have fielded a couple complaints from FPO viewers that are like, why can't I see shot by shot of FPO just their round? We're not even showing shot by shot of MPO. You know, that's just not, just to the viewers out there, we're not doing shot by shot coverage anymore. We're changing that model. We're doing live disc golf, and it's a full show. We're getting a lot of chase cards. We got third cards. We got chase of FPO. You know, so it's a different model. It's a live broadcast. And the great part about it is that we have fantastic media partners like Johnny Disc Golf doing interviews, but also the shot by shot teams here. Every event all year, we're going to have Jomez on MPO 1. Gatekeeper is going to be one of several that cover MPO 2, and then GK Pro is doing almost all the FPO. So if you want shot-by-shot FPO, it's free, it's commissioned by us, and it's going to be on GK Pro for almost all the year. So you get the best of all worlds, really.
Yeah, one last little thing before I get you out of here. FPO's going, you got to do your thing. What has it been like for you to work with all these shot-by-shot people? Because I think a couple years ago, it was basically CCDG or Jomez. That's it. What has it been like to have like 5-6 crews vying to shoot these cards?
Yeah, you know, I was expecting more bids, to be honest, Corey. Like when we put in an RFP, and like I kind of went out and started asking people, hey, do you guys want to do shot-by-shot coverage for us? And so we finally got it together. We had a couple that were really gung-ho about it, and they're doing most of it for us. But, you know, I think it's a good thing for the sport. I think the more media teams that are sustainable, the better, because at some point, you know, we're going to expand and have more events, and you know, hopefully there's more media coverage available at that time. But also, like, you know, non-pro tour events want media coverage, and then there's a lot of other events that are getting coverage as well. So it's been interesting. I think each media team has their own personality and their own way of doing business, but I can't say anything but good things about all of them. It's been a joy working with each media team, and we've got, you know, Parsave doing a couple events, GK Pro doing a lot, the Gatekeeper guys are doing like 5 or 6, and then Jomez being our MPO 1 partner. You know, it's great, and having everybody here just like adds to the festivities. It adds, you know, to the feel and the vibe and the attention. So we're thankful that the media teams want to be at Pro Tour events.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, they're about to finish, but I do want to give you a chance to say anything you'd like, anything that maybe we didn't mention, or anything you want to say to the fans themselves, the people rooting for the Pro Tour to succeed.
Well, yeah, thanks for watching, and come out and spectate. We're really trying to maximize spectators on site and viewership online, because our mission is to grow the professional side of the sport. And you know, there's a lot of ways to do that, but our main ways are through promotion, media, and collaboration. So collaboration with media, collaboration with all the partners in the sport, all the manufacturers, all the brands. We really just want to get everybody on the same page as much as we can, and pull in the same direction. It seems to us that, you know, there's a lot of fractions and people doing different things the last couple of years, and we want to, you know, help kind of streamline and have everybody pulling in one direction, because we feel that this sport has, like, we don't even know what the ceiling is.
Absolutely.
When everybody's doing the same thing and pulling in the same direction. So
Right.
we're super excited.
I'm super excited too. And you want to talk about one direction? Everybody's going that way. So
that way.
we're
Let's
gonna
go that
we're
way.
gonna go to the
Let's
18th
go
green.
that
But
way.
before we go, guys, that is all I've got for this interview. If you'd like coverage of all things disc golf, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Subscribe to Johnny Disc Golf.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out a little bit after the interview. I'd like to take this time to give a shout out to OTB. That's onlythebestdiscs.com. Now, they do, in my opinion, the best job at matching you, the consumer, with the best disc for you. Now, I have to have it pass the field test. That's like the biggest thing for me with a new disc. And with OTB, they give you the firmness and flatness of every disc in stock. It's ridiculous. Not to mention $395 flat rate shipping's pretty nice offer to boot. So thanks again, guys, and check out onlythebestdiscs.com.